Hey love, so today we are going to do a video on the new Oil Eyes palette from BH Cosmetics. When I posted my BH Cosmetics haul, this was definitely the most requested video on there. So many comments were talking about how they wanted to see swatches of this. They wanted me to compare them to the Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows. So I went through my collection and I found all of the foiled eyeshadows that I have that are from Makeup Geek, and I tried to kind of put them in here in the corresponding way that they look in this palette. They're obviously, not every single one of these is going to be duped for a Makeup Geek shadow because there's 28 in here and I believe there's only 20 total foiled shadows. I have most of them. I don't have all of them. I'm missing a couple. So there will be a couple in here that actually are Makeup Geek dupes, but aren't here from what I've seen anyway. I'm not sure if every single one is duped. I don't know yet. I honestly have only swatched a few of these, and I'm going to swatch them side by side and then swatch all of these so you guys can see what they look like. Price difference is this palette was $12 when I purchased it. It does range in price because BH Cosmetics does often change the prices on their website depending upon if they're having a sale. Their sales change, but it's probably always going to be priced between $10 and $15. Each one of these Makeup Geek shadows is $10 unless you buy a bundle, then you get kind of a deal. Yeah, so let's just go through and we'll swatch them. I want to bring you in a little closer so you can see a little bit better. All right, love, so this is what the BH Cosmetics Foil Eyes palette looks like. Like I said, there are 28 shades. There's a wide shade range. These are supposed to be super metallic shadows. Every single shadow in here is a foiled shadow. So the first one is this white one. I don't own any Makeup Geek ones that are dupes of this exact guy. So we're just going to go through and we're just going to swatch this one from BH Cosmetics. So this is the first one. These are not named or anything. I'm just gonna name them myself. This is just like a really frosty white one. So right off the bat, something that I noticed that makes these a little bit different from the Makeup Geek ones is they are a little bit more powdery. I'm not sure if that's the case for all of them, but so far for this first one, it doesn't feel as soft. And I've noticed that with a few that I've swatched that they don't feel quite as soft and super creamy like the Makeup Geek ones do. I do want to reiterate in this video, I am not encouraging you to not buy the Makeup Geek ones. I think they're amazing. I love Makeup Geek, don't get me wrong at all, but this was just very requested and it's very obvious when a brand is kind of doing something duped, if that makes sense, especially when so many of these match the same colors and it is such a good deal. If you literally can't afford the Makeup Geek ones, then this is definitely a great option for you. I'm assuming these are going to apply really nicely wet too. That's the nice thing about foiled shadows. You can apply them dry or wet and you're still going to get that metallic finish. So that is the first one. The next one is a nice silver shade. And it looks like this might be a dupe of High Wire. This is the silver from the BH Cosmetics palette. You can see right there the difference. This one is the Makeup Geek and you can see it's a lot more metallic. The other one just looks a little more powdery. Let's see, next we have this pale purple shade, which again also has a dupe. And then this one is Daydreamer. So this is Daydreamer, this is BH Cosmetics. Though they are similar, you can still see, I feel like the Makeup Geek ones are still more metallic. The sheen is a little greater. Not to say that you couldn't put this on the eye and it's gonna look the same on the eye, I'm honestly not sure. All right, next we have this nice minty green shade, which looks like a lot like Fantasy from Makeup Geek. So I'm gonna swatch both those for you. Right there, this one's Makeup Geek, this one is BH Cosmetics. Again, I feel like the Makeup Geek ones just have a higher reflective quality. This one right here. This kind of looks like a sage green. The dupe is Charmed. So again, this one is Makeup Geek. This one is BH Cosmetics. There. Makeup Geek, BH Cosmetics. Next we have this really beautiful peachy shade right here. Makeup Geek shade is in the Spotlight. This one, the Makeup Geek one, is much softer and more pigmented. Pretty brown shade down here. Grandstand from Makeup Geek. So we're going to swatch that guy next to it. Grandstand is much more metallic. You can see it's a little more coppery. The BH, this one's BH, this one's Makeup Geek. Move my way down and then go back because we started here and now we're going back this way because these few right here are duped. I think this one is just on its own. So we're just going to swatch that guy. Right there. That one is just from the BH Cosmetics palette, the golden one that's next to it. So this one is from BH Cosmetics. And in the pan, it looks similar to Magic Act, but I know Magic Act is going to be a lot brighter. They honestly, in the pans, they look similar, but they look they're totally different when you swatch them next to each other. I'm not sure if any of these, it doesn't look like any of these look like they're gonna be Magic Act, so there's not really a dupe for Magic Act because even though it looks like it's similar in the pan, swatch they are not. That's not a dupe. Next we have this kind of olive green shade right here, and it looks like Jester. Right there. This one is the Makeup Geek, and that one is the BH Cosmetics. Again, the Makeup Geek ones they're more metallic right off the bat. Not to say that you couldn't wet these BH Cosmetics ones. Maybe I will test that right now. We'll do Grandstand in the Grandstand dupe. I'm just going to use the Freedom primer water and wet this brush. And I'm just going to swatch it right above it. That definitely amped up the metallic aspect, but I mean most of the time when you get any sort of shimmery shadow wet, it's going to be much more metallic. So this one is the same as this guy right here. It's the same shadow. This one's applied wet, this one's applied dry, and then that one is the Makeup Geek one here. I'm even going to swatch the Makeup Geek one wet just to see how much more metallic that one could possibly get. Although wet, they look pretty dead on, not going to lie. So we have BH Cosmetics dry, BH Cosmetics wet, Makeup Geek dry, Makeup Geek wet. So if you are going to apply them dry, Makeup Geek all the way. If you're going to apply them wet, like honestly, that's the BH Cosmetics wet, that's Makeup Geek wet. They look really freaking similar. So I'm not sure if that's the case for every single one. I don't really have, if I swatch every single one wet and dry, this video is already going to be a million years long.
With that, what you will.
Tealy turquoise, and it looks like Pegasus. So very similar in shade. The Makeup Geek one seems slightly lighter. So, I mean, I would say that's a dupe. You could totally get away with it. You probably have this one on one eye and that one on the other, and you wouldn't be able to tell. I feel like even if it's not 100% like a magical, amazing, exactly the same, I feel like it can still be a dupe. Like if you can get the same result and you can't tell the difference when you just look at it, then yeah. If you guys want me to do a makeup tutorial where I use these and do one eye with one ear, that would be cool. So let's keep going. This purple right here, I'm not sure if I think it's this purple, unless it's this one that's supposed to be a dupe of Caitlin Rose. Somehow I don't have Caitlin Rose. I definitely want to get, so I think I'm going to get it on the next time I order from Makeup Geek. But I will swatch this guy from BH Cosmetics for you. There. Kind of charcoal shade right here. I'm not trying to flip you off, I promise. I'm just going to put it across from it since they're both, I don't have a dupe from Makeup Geek for either of those. So those are both BH right there. And then the next one is this super pale pinky shade, which looks like it's trying to do Whimsical. Right, so right there is the BH Cosmetics one. That's one like quick swatch. Both are beautiful, but I do prefer the Makeup Geek one. But in a pinch, again, maybe if it's wet, it's gonna look just as good. I don't even know. Who even knows? I'm gonna go down now to here. And this one looks like it's trying to do Starry Eyed, which I absolutely love from Makeup Geek. Makeup Geek still takes it though. It's still more foiled. BH Cosmetics, Makeup Geek. This one honestly looks like, let's see, this one is Mesmerized. Looks like it's a mix between this guy and this guy, so I'm not sure. Also, that one is BH Cosmetics. Yeah, there we go. That one's Makeup Geek. Really beautiful cobalt blue, which I'm pretty sure there's a Makeup Geek dupe for it, but I don't have it. Really pretty navy. To Houdini. So we have BH Cosmetics, Makeup Geek. Boop. Which doesn't have a dupe, so I'm just going to swatch this right there. That one's just in the BH Cosmetics palette. Beautiful golden shade right here, which looks really similar to Untamed. And underneath of it is the Makeup Geek one. Next we have one that looks like it's kind of a like club eyeshadow from MAC, or kind of like blue brown, but it looks more green. Really beautiful shade. So this one is only in the BH Cosmetics one. I mean, it looks a lot like Insomnia pigment from Makeup Geek, so it does technically have a Makeup Geek dupe, but the Makeup Geek pigment is much more intense. Back down in this one right here, which looks like a lot like Showtime from Makeup Geek. And then this is the Makeup Geek one right here. Super close. Makeup Geek might be slightly more red. Next we have my favorite in the entire palette is this coppery shade, and it looks a lot like Flamethrower. So we're going to swatch those side by side. Flamethrower. Flamethrower is still more intense, and it's got some glitter in it. So Flamethrower still does win it for me if I had to pick one or the other. But again, total dupe if you had them on your eye. So now you're onto this bright yellow shade, which does have a dupe. It looks a lot like Fortune Teller from Makeup Geek. Here's the BH. There is the Makeup Geek. Makeup Geek is slightly more reflective and a little deeper. Next we have this bright blue. I don't have a dupe for that guy. We will have a dupe for this one right here though. Swatching this one first, and then we'll swatch this one. Right, that one is from BH Cosmetics. The purple shade, this one BH Cosmetics again. The BH Cosmetics one's actually darker, but they are really similar. I feel like if you used a lighter hand with this guy, it would be the same color as this one. If you use a heavier hand with this one, it'd be the same color as that one. They look the same, just one slightly more pigmented. I think this is the first one that packs a bigger punch from BH than Makeup Geek. We've got these two left, which I can't tell. There was one that looked similar to this one and this one, so I'm going to swatch it again next to this guy, even though I already swatched it next to this one. Pretty close. The BH, this is BH, this one's Makeup Geek. The BH one is slightly more pink toned, and that one's Mesmerized again. So Mesmerized kind of has two dupes in here. Both look really similar. It's hard to tell the difference. And then we have just one left. This bottom corner from the BH Cosmetics one, which I do not have a dupe of. I mean, it looks close to whimsical, but much more pink. Really beautiful pink shade. All right, love, so those are all of the swatches. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. I do feel like the Makeup Geek ones are more metallic, but when you're using them wet, if you compare them, they look very similar. Then you could really interchange them. I do feel like you get a bigger metallic punch right off the bat from the Makeup Geek ones. I think that this is really cool that BH Cosmetics came out with this, because I know there's many people that can't afford to, you know, spend $280 on Makeup Geek shadows. Like if there were 28, there aren't 28, but if there were 28, just so if these were Makeup Geek shadows, this would be $280. And it's $12. Like, that's insane. It's so cheap. This literally costs the same price as like 1.2 of these Makeup Geek shadows, because the foiled ones are about $10. I think they're $9.99. So the price difference is like astronomical. So it just depends on what you want to do. I think Makeup Geek is an amazing company. And again, I'm not trying to rag on them at all. I love Makeup Geek. I am glad that I still have these Makeup Geek shadows. I'm not like, oh dang, why did I spend that money? Because they are really great quality, and they do pack a bigger punch. But again, not to say that if you can't afford those, like, this is a great palette. This is a great dupe. Like, it really is. So I do like the palette. I'm glad that I bought it. It's going to be fun to do like one eye and one eye the other. I mostly purchased it like to make a video on it, but I'm also excited that I have it because there are a few shades in this guy that I don't have from Makeup Geek.
I'm just gonna say Makeup Geek.
Alright, so I think that's everything. Hopefully all of that made sense. I feel like I am covered in shimmer right now. It's like all over me. Really beautiful shadows. It's a great palette. Again, $12. You can't beat it. It's really up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, because I'm glad that I own both. Alright, love, so again, let me know if you want to see, give this video a thumbs up. How about that? Give this video a thumbs up if you want a tutorial doing a dupe tutorial using these foiled shadows. I would love to do it for you. Yeah, so just give the video a thumbs up so I know, and then share this video if you could, because it does help me out so much. And I think that is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love y'all, and I will talk to you soon.